I'm Marty Stouffer. Some of the most fascinating animals are those with horns and antlers. These adornments may look like excellent weapons against predators, but defense is not their primary purpose. Instead, animals are more inclined to use their bony crowns against their own kind in disputes over territory, hierarchy, or sexual dominance. The purposes and composition of these impressive adaptations are also quite different. Horns are permanently attached to the skull and play an important role in herd dominance. Antlers, on the other hand, are shed annually and are fundamental in establishing mating rights. We'll see how antlers and horns differ and how different creatures use them to survive as we take a look at a wide variety of headgear. The lofty summits of America's Rocky Mountains, where trees and shrubs surrender to solid granite. Few animals thrive here in this land of low temperatures and high winds. An exception is the mountain goat. It lives year-round above tree line on cliffs too precipitous for any but the most daring of predators. A rash young mountain lion stalks the stiletto-horned goat. Within a matter of moments, the inexperienced cat realizes the folly of its attack. Built for balancing, not running, the sure-footed Billy stands his ground. His dagger-like horns at the ready, he braces his muscular torso on short, sturdy legs. Stomping his feet as if to say, "Get off my mountain," the Billy counterattacks. The horns of both male and female goats are sophisticated weapons. During the breeding season, the subordinate Billies build up an extra layer of padding on their rear ends to protect them from disabling puncture wounds wielded with authority from the dominant nannies. Mountain goats are occasionally killed by predators, especially as juveniles. Kids are sometimes knocked off cliffs by golden eagles, but avalanches and rock slides cause more fatalities than predation, a point the Billy drives home to the young cat. The rugged Rockies are also home to bighorn sheep. Like goats, the bighorn's headgear are not shed, but continue to grow throughout the life of the animal. A core of bone grows from the skull and is surrounded by a horn sheath called keratin, the material of birds' beaks, cats' claws, and human fingernails. This outer sheath outgrows the inner bone core and can develop into massive full curls that weigh 25 pounds or more. A ram's horns can end up weighing more than all the bones in his body. The ewe's horns are thinner and seldom exceed 12 inches. Young rams can be told from adult ewes by the thickness of their horns. especially at the base. These deep indentations in their horns are caused from a temporary halt in keratin growth. This takes place each year during the breeding season or rut, a time when overall fitness is put to the test. Usually, the ram with the most impressive headgear dominates his male counterparts by simply displaying his horns. But when rams of equal size encounter each other, all-out combat is not uncommon. Heads slam together at 20 miles per hour, generating up to 2,000 pounds of pressure per square inch. Bighorns were once common on our central grasslands, before humans forced them into remote areas of the Rockies. Now, our mountains are the perfect setting for the majestic bighorns and their classic autumn rituals. Far to the north, 200 miles above the Arctic Circle on the vast Alaskan tundra, lives North America's most unusual horned animal. The native people call it oomingmok, or bearded one. European explorers called them musk oxen. During the Ice Age, they ranged all over the northern continents, crossing the land bridge between Siberia and Alaska 2 million years ago, during the peak of the glaciation. These shaggy herd animals shared their chilly prehistoric world with mammoths and mastodons. Yet, only oomingmok survive. By 4 years of age, a muskox bull has fully developed horns which cover the crown of his head like a helmet. Four inches of horn and 3 inches of bone lie directly over the brain. The horns of the bull meet on the center of his forehead, an area called the boss. During the rut, a solitary male may challenge the herd bull for his harem of cows, but fights seldom end in death. Musk oxen may look clumsy, like a mop of hair with horns, but looks can be deceiving. Musk oxen are fast, tough, and intelligent. Battles during the rut can be spectacular and violent as bulls collide at 20 miles per hour. In ritual dance, they toss their massive heads and sidestep in unison. Suddenly, the challenger retreats and the battle is over. The Arctic fox seems to enjoy the company of musk oxen, frequently following the herds, even walking in their tracks. The hooves of oomingmok may help flush out lemmings, the primary food of the fox. During the rut, muskox bulls grow short-tempered. Some may even charge birds who come too close to the cows. But the Arctic fox is no stranger to danger, frequently venturing close to polar bears and wolves to scavenge scraps from their kills. It seems like the fox is teasing the 500-pound cow. But the game turns more serious when the bulls get in on the act. The fox is lucky to have escaped with just a few bruises, and it surely regrets that it ever started the deadly game of tundra tag. Horned and antlered animals held a place of mystical reverence for native cultures worldwide. The Blackfoot tribe of Native Americans believed the spirit of the pronghorn could heal their sick, not because of its legendary speed, but because of its ability to grow new horns each year. The pronghorn is the only truly horned mammal in the world which sheds its outer horn sheath each fall. Over the winter, the sheath slowly begins to regenerate, and by spring, it has grown back larger than the year before. The main purpose of a male's horns or antlers is to advertise virility. A large rack of antlers, like these of the bull caribou, indicate healthy, vigorous males which are likely to pass on strong genes to their offspring. All antlers are growing bone. In the case of caribou, they may grow 1 inch every 2 days. Some bulls carry enormous racks, 5 feet tall. Unlike other antlered animals, both male and female caribou have antlers. Those of the female are smaller, but big enough to help her compete with bulls for a place on the feeding grounds. In the summer, antlers are covered with skin called velvet. The fuzzy velvet is full of blood vessels and nerves. Oily secretions in the velvet may act as sunburn protection or insect repellent. Breezes blowing over the blood-rich velvet help air condition the caribou, as the cool blood then circulates throughout the animal's body. Each autumn, both bull caribou and bull moose shed their velvet, exposing the bone underneath. Bloody skin hangs like tattered rags on the moose's scoop-shaped antlers. The rack of an Alaskan bull moose may span 6 feet, and exceptional racks may weigh up to 75 pounds. By winter, the bull will have shed his enormous rack, only to grow a bigger one in 4 short months. This represents the fastest growth of any known tissue. As the rut nears, hormonal changes cause the velvet covering to dry and disintegrate, leaving a faint web of tracks on the bony antler underneath. Elevated testosterone levels trigger a change in the bull's behavior. This largest member of the deer family becomes aggressive, polishing his antlers in preparation for battle. chemical changes are occurring in the metabolism of the bull elk as well. His neck swells up, and his rack, which may be 5 feet long and weigh 40 pounds or more, takes on a ragged appearance. With his velvet in shreds, the bull loses much of his elegant appearance. Small trees take a beating as he rubs off the itchy, drying skin. From glands on his face, he also deposits a chemical secretion which communicates his sexual status. His mellow disposition dissolves into the crisp autumn air. A mature bull may weigh up to 1,000 pounds, but lose 100 pounds or more during the stress of the rut. A dominant male, called a harem master or herd bull, collects groups of up to 30 cows, which he constantly tends. In the end, however, it's the cow which accepts the bull. The symmetry and size of his rack appears to be a key factor in her decision to allow him to father her offspring. Fights are infrequent between dominant and subordinate bulls. The herd bull's imposing rack, body size, and mannerisms are usually enough to discourage smaller rivals. The bull elk's handsome set of antlers also make him one of the most sought-after trophies for a hunter. America's horned and antlered animals were the lifeblood of the first people to populate our continent. Even now, humans continue to pursue them. The hunt calls me back to a time when humans were more firmly connected to the oneness of all life, when we were more appreciative of the gift of life offered to us by our prey. Hunting solely for the sake of collecting large antlers, however, tarnishes the ancient ritual, demeaning both the hunter and the hunted. For a mule deer buck, an impressive rack is just so much excess winter baggage. All his energies must now be focused on finding food and avoiding predators, so he drops his antlers and seeks anonymity among the ranks of the females. By spring, food is more abundant, and his antlers begin to grow back from bumps on his forehead called pedicles. This amazing regeneration fascinates scientists, who compare it to a human having the ability to cut off an arm, then grow a new one. Continuing studies probe the mysteries of antler regrowth and how it might help reveal the causes and cures for osteoporosis in women. Soon, the mule deer's velvet nubs will branch and branch again into an elegant rack, as handsome and familiar as any in the antlered kingdom. Our horned and antlered creatures have often served to reflect our own ego. At the same time, they also symbolize the delicate nature of our relationship with wildlife. We have pushed some species to the brink of extinction, then miraculously rescued them, only to see new problems created by the solutions. Hopefully, someday we'll realize the benefits of protecting these beautiful animals for their own sake, and not just for their headgear. I'm Marty Stouffer. Until next time, enjoy our wild America.